Alright, what's up, y'all? My name's Tim Ream. I'm here today on the 44th day of 75 hard. Also, the 44th day of the spring cut. That being said, it's going to be back day. I'm going to also throw calves in there. I usually work them in the beginning, but I'm going to save them for after I get done with the back. I've got not new exercises that I'm going to introduce, but I am going to move into them in a different progression. I've got, I want to say, 6 workouts total, 6 exercises total for back, for the whole back workout. Anyways, dude, yeah, I'm excited. I love back day. I just really want to close my eyes and just focus and really give the last sets to failure my all, and just anyway, so let's go. First one's going to be pullovers, cable pullovers. Use a V-bar to do them with. I feel like you get a little bit more of a, I don't know, maybe not. If you're using a rope, I guess what I was going to say, if you're using a rope, you can kind of go past your range of motion a little bit. If you're using a straight bar, you're only going to go all the way to your, thighs there. And also, so I feel like you can get a deeper range of motion with the rope, although I'm going to use the V-bar. What the fuck ever. As opposed to something that you should run away from because it's different. This is something that champions and successful people who are great at what they do and live great lives that other people up do automatically. Okay? So that's the first thing. Embrace your adversity and look for opportunities to get better and grow. Now the second thing I think is going to resonate with a lot of you guys. Dude, a lot of you guys, for lack of better terms, you got no swag, okay? And what I mean by that is this. It's not that you don't, it's that you're too afraid to show it, all right? You let people humble you to death. What does that mean? You guys don't know what that means. Think about the time that you said, to your best friend, or your group of friends, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, and you said, what your real dream was. You got all this courage, and you got vulnerable, and you decided you were going to tell the truth about what it is you wanted to achieve, and what happened? So I have been doing like this exercise to pre-exhaust the lats, and I've been going into a close grip pull down, basically. I was thinking about it today. I feel like it'd probably be better if I do the close grip palms up pull down, because I mean that's still like the same exact motion. You're working on your lats, so if I'm pre-exhausting lats with this type of pull down or pull over motion, then that's kind of the same exact motion as the close grip palms up pull down, because you're pushing your elbows down. So I feel like it's probably a better exercise to go into rather than the close grip, which whatever, the variations might not matter too much, but try it out, see how it goes, and then I'll go into my normal progression of exercises after that. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, right? And we all love these people, and these people mean well most of the time. And what they don't understand is when they criticize us for having a little success or laugh at our dreams, what does that make us do? It makes us pull back. It makes us get more conservative. It makes us not say what we want. And I can promise you, if you can't say what you want, you'll never achieve what you want. All right? It'll never happen. So you guys have to understand that it is okay to believe in yourself. It is okay to say, I'm going to do this. It is okay to celebrate your successes. Winning in life, in any area, is a great thing. And when people start to see you win and they start trying to pull you back, that's a good indication of people that you should probably work separate from, because those are the people who are going to draw energy off of you that could otherwise be spent moving you forward. All right? So guys, don't let these people who haven't achieved anything, who have no goals, who are happy floating through life, and by the way, if that's them, that's cool. You don't have to want what they want, and they don't have win and you want to be successful, you cannot let other people talk you out of believing in yourself under the guise of, quote, being humble. All right? And I see a lot of you guys do this. You think humility is a great core value or place to be, and it is. It is. And here's why. Why is humility important? Because when you know your shit, you keep working. When you know that you don't know shit, you keep learning. When you know you're not that good, you keep working to get good. So it's important to stay humble for the reason of growth. But that can be counterproductive if you're hearing it from all these different people that you're supposed to love and trust, and they're all telling you to get back in line and shut the fuck up. You people who listen to that stuff will never win. You will humble yourself to death. Okay? So those are my 2 points I want you guys to think about this week. One, all right, embrace the challenge, embrace the adversity. Stop looking at it as something you need to run from and start looking at it as what can I learn. And 2, stop letting your surroundings and the culture and the people you surround yourself with and you yourself humble yourself to death. You, and I'm talking to you listening, are a badass motherfucker. All of you. You just haven't had the courage to step out and be that thing. And when you get out there and you start becoming that, you're going to have resistance. It's going to happen. But like I said, those are the people that you can then regulate by noticing that they're not putting energy into you and pushing you forward. Instead, they're pulling you back. And once you eliminate those anchors in your life, guys, it gets a lot easier to win. All right? So those are my 2 messages for you this week. I want you to work on those things this week. I want you to think about those things. And notice when you're doing these things. I do this because I want you guys to win. I do this because I want to help you guys. And I do this because I fucking care. And there's not enough good teachers out there really teaching people what it takes to win anymore. Because it's not cool in culture. All right? Like, this is about winning. This is not about winning.
This will be our set to failure here.
It's about winning moment by moment.
Pretty exhausted the lights a little bit.
Every day.
Go right into this heavy set.
Winning a few days in a row. 5, 6, 7 days in a row. And then winning the week. And then it's about winning a few weeks in a row and winning your month. And then it's about winning a few months in a row and you're winning the year. Aren't you fucking sick of not hitting your fucking goals? Aren't you sick of being the same as you are every fucking year? If you look out for a reason, you will always find it. If you look for an excuse, you will always have one. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you need to fucking do it. If you tell yourself you're going to be something, you need to fucking be it. Because a lot of people say they want this shit, but they don't really want it. Their actions don't back it up. Their actions aren't showing what it takes to get the result. Their actions aren't showing to being a person of excellence. They're showing a commitment to being the same fucking person. Things are not always going to be perfect. Things are not always going to be perfect. Things are not always going to be convenient. There's going to be things that you can do or find or say or listen to that will help you justify you not sticking to the plan. But successful people know this and they stick to the plan regardless. They understand that things are going to get tough. They understand that things are going to be hard. They understand that things are going to be inconvenient. They understand there's going to be weddings and holidays and vacations at every turn of our existence. You don't believe in yourself because you believe in yourself for years and years and years. You've told yourself this was the time. This was what I was going to do. I'm going to do it this time, and I'm serious. I'm serious this time. Seriously. You told yourself that over and over and over. And what happens when you don't follow through? What happens when you don't keep those promises? You lose trust in yourself. When you lose trust in yourself, you lose belief in yourself. And when you lose belief in yourself, you feel powerless. You you start thinking you don't have what it takes. You have the intestinal fortitude.
I'm gonna go right into my heavy set on this. Not really a superset, but I'm still pumped up. And before that runs out, I'm hopping into this set. Get my breath and all that stuff. Catch my breath and then hop into it here pretty quick. But basically, I'm gonna eliminate the warm-up sets and just start moving right into my heavy sets to failure here.
And I get, so many emails saying that, and you guys don't see them all, but if you saw them, I promise you, you'd feel good about sharing what we're talking about here. On the other hand, guys, I do get different kinds of emails, okay? And some of these DMs that I get aren't like that, all right? And they're more like this. I'm just going to read you one that we got. It says, Andy, I just can't go on anymore. I'm working hard on my business, and nothing is working out. In fact, it seems like, in spite of my effort, everything is just falling apart. Like the business isn't struggling, it's dead. Or I get an email like this. These are two different emails. I just started listening to your podcast and realized that I'm everything you say a person shouldn't be. I'm lying in my bed right now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. For the last 5 years, I've been making the wrong decision after wrong decision. And now I'm my son. My life is a train wreck, and I've really hit rock bottom. And I want to address that, okay, guys? If that's you, and that's how you feel, and that's how you're feeling about your life, you need to really listen to what I'm going to talk about today, because I've been there. I've been there in business, I've been there in my life, okay? And don't think for a minute that there wasn't a time when Chris and I looked around at our empty store and looked around at our bank account and said, fuck, man, this is never going to work, okay? It seems like we get a little traction, but ultimately we couldn't see the big vision. And we felt like we were just like these people who wrote these emails. We were dead in the water. And you guys got to remember, I've been through other shit too. Like the year after I got stabbed in the face and my face was so fucked up, nobody would look at me or talk to me. I thought my life was over. And if I'm being totally honest, don't think for a minute that I've never done something shitty myself and had to face the consequences. I felt super guilty too about things I've done. I said to myself, fuck, man, you're stupid. Why did you do that? You're a piece of shit. And I've been really, really hard on myself, just like some of these people are that we've talked about. You guys have to understand that what you're going through here is normal. I understand what you're saying because I've been through it, all right, in both my business and in my life. I've hit rock bottom. And let me tell you guys something. I can't explain it, but I've experienced it, and I can tell you that it's true. There's something really, really, really good about hitting rock bottom. It can be good for your business, and it is absolutely 100% good for you. So you guys have to understand it. I get it. I've been there. I've been there, and it was my fault, just like it's your fucking fault right now. But there's an upside to hitting rock bottom. I was telling Vaughn about this topic when we were talking about the show, and he said, yeah, dude, it's like the poet Longfellow said, defeat may be victory in disguise, the lowest ebb is the turn of the tide, okay? And I was like, yeah, man, king of the nerds, guess what? You're fucking right. But guess what? It is true. When you feel dead in the water, that's good. When you feel like you're at the bottom, that's good. It means the next step is to wake the fuck up, rise the fuck up, and dominate in everything that you do. Some people never make it back, but most people fucking do. And the reason most people fucking win so big when they come back from rock bottom, the reason that when you watch TV, you hear stories of people who made something, lost it all, went to the bottom, and then come back up even stronger is because of the journey of getting to a place like some of these individuals email in and how that's is self-made that has had an easy life. Not one truly self-made successful person that I have met, and I've met a lot, has had an easy life. They all have a story. And it's not like they went out and made up these stories after they made money. They're telling you exactly the truth of what happened to them. And through the process of their struggles, they learn all these skills that are going to make you be successful. So if you're one of these people who's thinking, like my friends who wrote me in here, they're saying, I'm everything that you think people shouldn't be. First of all, you need to be looking for the approval of yourself, not for the approval of me. My job is to help you, okay? But I understand where you're coming from, and I understand what that feels like. So if you're one of these people, don't go too hard on yourself. Hang in there. Shit is going to get better, but you do absolutely have to make it better yourself. Dude, every year I do this show, this New Year's show, right? And people go, you know, Andy, you have to say New Year's, you know, but you think I'm gonna say? How many times do we gotta say the same shit? Like, and you think, and you're gonna be mad at me for saying that. You're mad at me for saying that. Most of y'all are gonna do shit, and you're gonna be mad at me because I said it, when in reality, you should be mad at yourself because 2 years ago you said shit, last year you said shit, this year you're saying shit, and next year you're gonna be saying the same shit. And you're gonna be mad at me. How about this for 2020? How about this? How about we take an inventory of ourselves? We look at ourselves in the mirror and we tell ourselves the truth. We look at our lives and we tell ourselves the truth. The truth is this, it's very simple. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. You're executing or you haven't been executing. You either are truly ready to make a change or you're not. The idea that you're not talented enough, right? Like, oh, dude, do you really think you're good enough for that? Like, dude, when I was starting a business, I looked at all these other business guys, and I constantly doubted myself. I constantly told myself in my head that I wasn't good enough, or that I wasn't equipped enough. And dude, I wasn't equipped, right? I wasn't good enough at the time. That was the truth. I had to get better. But a lot of people tell themselves these things, and it stops them from getting anywhere, okay? Because most successful people that I know, they all understand that this isn't about talent. It's about choices, all right? Your individual small choices over the course of time are what compound into overall result of success.
Okay.
All right? And this is why,
that's pretty much just the pull down aspect. Still got a couple exercises I'm going to do. They're going to be rows and rows variations, seated rows. If you can tell, I just did my heavy sets to failure after one initial warm-up phase and exercise. They're all the same motion. So to do warm-up sets in each one of those, you're just adding volume and depleting your recovery ability and chemical resources. And I'd rather those chemical resources go to recompensating and building rather than just digging a deeper inroad into my, recovery ability. And so I take some of them sets out, warm-up sets, it's just kind of dumb. It's the same exact motion on all those. I will do a couple warm-up sets over here on the seated rows just because it's a new movement, a new range of motion. But then I'm going to get right back into my heavy sets to failure really, really quick. Let's change these weights over. And this last one, those single arm pull downs, actually that was the most weight I've ever done. I just wanted to test it out a little bit and put a lot of heavy, strenuous load on it. And I only got like 4 or 5 on one side, and then had to help out with the other hand and get those partials and try to exhaust the negative, you know. And I found if, say I'm like really setting goals as far as hitting new PRs, and you know, I'm wanting to hit like 250 or some shit next week. Well, if I can, for like 8 or 7 or whatever it is, if I can get that on the bar this week and just get under the weight, even though, and just go for whatever I can, usually if I can at least expose myself to that weight with a few forced reps or assisted with somebody else helping or something, then I can usually always hit it then that next week. So, you know, if I can at least expose myself to the weight this week, then exposure is the best way to cope for next week. So, just a little trick I've used over the years to get my weights up, and, you know, just, you know, letting your muscle feel the full weight of that shit. All right, let's go over here to seated rows.
I think it's important to realize that most people, even though you're going to see on TV that, you know, you see the Kardashians driving around in Rolls Royces, and you see everybody on TV.
And one thing that I did want to mention, and one thing I did want to mention about like cutting this whole dietary aspect of things is how important our macros are. And for a long time I neglected. I heard like, oh, pay attention to your macros. And I was, yeah, whatever, dude, I'll be okay. Well, it really wasn't until I started to dial those in and figuring out what was on my plate in the right proportions, was I actually start being able to make, you know, progress as far as bulking or as far as cutting goes. And I've noticed for me that if I eat higher, if I break those down properly in the cutting phase, and I've got the majority of it protein, minimal fats, and then like just a few carbs in there, I notice that I'm way more satiated. I can go longer periods without eating. I don't have such a spike and then down. But if I fill those calories with mainly carbs, then basically by the end of the night, I'm fucking starving because my body just burnt right through them. And, you know, it just makes a lot of a difference in being able to maintain a caloric deficit and not be hungry as fuck all the time. So having high proteins in there is a big one, just also for satiation and feeling full, but also to maintain the muscle you've actually built up until the point that you're cutting, you know? I don't want to spend the last year fucking building that muscle just to burn through it when in my cutting phase. That defeats the purpose. So if you can cut slower and have a lot of high protein in there, then you can maintain a lot of the muscle versus if you just have carbs, you know? So then you'll burn through it, and then your body's looking for another source of energy. So it's just getting those right is a big deal. And you'll be able to tell the difference too, as far as your energy levels go, you know? I mean, hell, once you get into 4 and 5 in the afternoon, you're going to be dragging ass, dude. You know, if you're all on carbs, spikes your insulin all the time, and you're just hungry all the fucking time. So, you know, if you can really start getting that stuff under control, it's going to make a big difference for you. All right, we'll get into this. We'll just do one warm-up set here, and then we'll do a regular heavy set to failure on these numbers. Keep the volume low.
And I would say the first thing is definitely follow your passion and not chase money. And you'll hear people say that, and it doesn't make sense because they think like it sounds like such a like abstract thing. Like follow your passion. You know, it's like a positive thinking mantra or whatever. But the reality is, the business is really hard. And if you're in business and you're doing it just for the money and you're not doing it because you really care, what's going to happen is when things get tough, it's going to be easy for you to quit because the money is not enough reward. You know, it has to do doing something you're passionate about, something that you love, something that you want to get up and do every day. Because that way, when you're not making money and the money's not there, you still do it anyway and you get better anyway. So it makes it easier for you to continue to get better and improve, which is what inspires you to ultimately reach.
This is one of those exercises I'd rather go a little bit light and stay focused with really good form and just really burn that back out. Instead of doing a lot of rocking motions. One of the things I hate the most, which like the one set to failure, if you do one set and you don't feel like you really focused and got that isolated feeling and really took those muscles to the max, whenever you walk away, if you're going to work out in one more week for back, you know, if there's a week in between, it's like, fuck, dude. You know, so whenever you walk away and you don't feel like you actually made the most out of that exercise, it kicks you in your ass. And so you start to really slow down and really make sure that each one of these sets to failure really count. And if it's dropping the weight a little bit more, to learn how to get the form and the focus right, to be able to get the most out of it, you do it. Because if it's going to be a week in between working out again, that muscle group, then you want to make sure that you actually did stimulate growth. And you're only going to do that. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's like the speedometer on your car. Going to the red line area and then dipping into it. You know, going to where your body's never been before and pushing it into that as far as you can is what produces the growth. And then you can be satisfied that you did it. But if you, it's just a shitty feeling walking away, wondering if you did, or just knowing you didn't hit the isolation aspect of it as good as what you would have liked. All right, we're going to go into heavy set to failure. Do it 250 on it.
To be successful. If you're a young man, a young woman between the ages of 16, 15, and 25, the biggest advantage in the history of life. Okay? And I'm going to explain why in a second. We have fucking air travel. We have fucking internet. We are able to speak like this through technology instantly. Dude, people that were in business 20 years ago, if they wanted to do business, they had to get a fucking letter.
Alright.
And they had to send it to somebody. That letter had to take 2 days to get there. And then they had to blah, 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 and communicate back and forth. They had to call during business hours. Or after, they can't be like tied to the wall. Yeah, hey, man, sitting here in the office. Like, you now, 24 hours a day. We have social media. We have ways to access among thousands of people at any given time.
Definitely sloppy on those last few, but if you've already got the burn and good muscle isolation, then once you get to failure, breaking form and just driving it home for a few more ain't gonna hurt nothing.
I can help you do this, this, and this. And I hit people one by one, by one, by one, by one. Which, ironically, is the same way the business is done today, just through different avenues. So when you're young, and you're one of these people who's been brought up in social media, and you look around the internet and all the shit, you have no fucking clue how good you have it. You just don't. You have an ultimate fucking opportunity.
Yeah, one thing that's a little kind of interesting, and this is kind of more my style. Instead of being like, oh, the summer's coming up, let's cut down to look good for summer. Well, that might not even be within your body's cycle. So I've noticed, like, actually where I was at, I was pretty happy with, you know, I've only been back in the gym probably eight months, maybe 10 or something. So I was having a lot of fun with just kind of bulking and seeing strength gains and really just dialing in my routine and seeing strength gains the whole time. But I think eventually that would have ran its course. Where it was like, okay, I've kind of mastered that little aspect, bulking and the strength increases and the routine. Now let's start to try to cut. So I'm trying to say, I feel like there's actually natural rhythms. And if you just, you know, stay in the flow of what you're doing, I think it'd be more productive. Because if you're making yourself do something versus I want to do this because I'm in a learning phase and I'm actually absorbed up in it, like, it's going to make a difference. And right now I can definitely feel where I'm really having to put mental energy forward, a lot of willpower just to get this all done, rather than like, I'm figuring this out and I just want to put my all behind it. So it's probably going to be an aspect of, you know, bodybuilding for myself that I'm probably going to go more with more in the flow with, I guess, next time, and just be aware of that there's actually a rhythm and listening to your body and just kind of going with the flow rather than swimming upstream against the fucking current. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, just no warm-up sets, just single armed rows with heavy fucking weight and just fucking get the most stretch as I possibly can on the lats and then into that contracted position. Mike Mentry talks about, you know, like the stretch and you gain the most muscle and strength in the contracted position. And he's like, so where is the, you know, how does he say it? Basically said, to get into that position, you basically, I'm going to butcher it, so I'm going to even try. But, okay, so I'm going to try hitting the heaviest weight that I possibly can on this movement here. Let's take one of those off. That's still a lot.
I was watching the documentary about
I know what I'll do here.
On Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. And, you know, of course, it's got Michael Jordan, it's got, you know, Dennis Rodman, it's got all the guys that George Pippen, it's got all the guys from that era, right? And they're all kind of talking about Michael Jordan and their last season, and that's why they call it The Last Dance. And it's cool because they go from, like, you know, back when Michael was in high school to when he was in college, to the seasons before the last season, and they really covered his whole career in detail. It was very entertaining to watch. I want to reference a certain scene in this documentary. There was a certain point, and everybody knows how awesome Michael Jordan is, right? Whether you're I'm not really even a basketball fan. I'm a sports fan. I like football, I like baseball, I like hockey.
Basically says if you get the most strength increases and it's the most beneficial whenever you're you know, in the contraction, then you want to make sure where you're going to get the most stimulation is going to be in the fully contracted position. It's just funny how he put it, because it's just like, duh. You know, you just don't think of it like that. I told you I'd butcher it. Alright.
And everybody thinks of Michael Jordan, you always hear the famous things, like, you know, he was intense, he was mean sometimes, he was angry, he was a tough player, you know, he wasn't always nice and practical. We always hear this shit, okay? But watching him interact on that documentary gives you a different perspective. And that perspective, it came to me in an instant. There was a scene in the documentary where Michael was the locker area with one of the security guys. And they're flipping corners, all right? And it's right during the middle of where he should be preparing, and he should be, weeping. He should be preparing, he should be focused, getting intense, ready to go to battle, but he's not. He's flipping quarters and he's laughing with his security guy, and they're playing a really fucking blast. And what I saw in that moment was so profound for me. I just want to share it with you guys. He was present. Okay? He was present in the moment. And that's really what makes great people. That's what makes great athletes great athletes. That's what makes great entrepreneurs. That's what makes great anything great. Okay? And I saw this way, but it all clicked for me. They're able to take whatever it is right in front of them, whether it be a conversation, whether it be a game of quarters, whether it be practicing, whether it be lifting weights, whether it be playing strategy in a meeting. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're doing. He was all in on that.
And
so when they were practicing chest
this one set to failure
100% in chest pass.
in about 5, 6 different exercises per muscle group. Now I think you can see that if you're using heavy fucking weight each exercise and you're just fucking blasting that body part, I think you can tell that just over a matter of time, it's like, damn, that motherfucker's gonna get big. And I always go back to that illustration. It's something that I really filter a lot of my movements and philosophy through is that gorilla doing a 400-pound gorilla doing a one-arm pull-up. You don't see it doing a bunch of reps in the gym, in the jungle, just 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 10. No, it's just going to do it a couple times when it needs to, and then there's just a bunch of rest in between him doing it this time and the next time. And it's literally just exposing himself to that weight load. And that's actually what's getting him big and strong. And so I think you can tell that if you do that, once or twice a week, dude, you're just fucking destroying yourself with this few sets to failure and exposing your body to just a heavy fucking weight load. And one of the realizations you really got to come to is your body is going to say, stop, 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 stop. It's not going to want to, it's only got a limited amount of resources that it can put towards something. And it's going to try to reserve those resources until it's absolutely fucking threatened. And the thing is, you got to literally come in here and threaten your physiology and fucking basically grab it, put it in a headlock, and say, fucking grow. You have to fucking take it right to the max and then dig in as hard as you fucking can. And that's what kicks the growth mechanism into gear. And you have to literally force your body to grow by fucking taking it into some uncharted territories because it doesn't want to use those resources unless it absolutely has to. So you have to threaten your physiology to actually say, oh fuck, this is a weight that I have to cope to. And so most people are doing a shitload of volume, trying to get big, and really the thing is, they're just trying to get big all in one day, and it ain't gonna fucking happen. This is a time thing, and you just better settle into this is gonna take some fucking time, and you just need to learn how to do it fucking properly. But in a year, that time is gonna pass. And in a year, you're gonna be bigger if you did it fucking properly. But if you just came in here, tried to get big all at once, you'll do it for about 3 weeks and then fucking fizzle right out. So just makes all the difference. But you can tell if you just expose yourself to heavy weight to failure for about 5 or 6 exercises per workout, dude, your body's got no choice but to fucking get bigger. It's got no choice. You're not leaving it another choice. Like it has to, you have to threaten. It feels threatened at that point. So now it's got to create an adaptive response. So you don't only got to do that with one set to failure. All right, so
the adversity, the struggle,
we're gonna blast calves. I'm gonna do like maybe one warm-up set of standing calves and then a heavy set, and then some seated calves, and that's it, baby. Do 3, maybe 4 sets. I'm not gonna do forearms. You gotta think, like, I just did a lot of back, which is pretty forearm intensive anyways. Yes, I got straps on, but you're still fucking using the grip strength, so it's already kind of got a forearm workout. So if I give it a couple days in between me doing forearms today inadvertently, and then maybe in 2 days do actual isolated forearm workout, then I'll kind of be hitting them twice in a week, really. It's called overlapping. All right, let's get into this here. And dude, there's a thing, like Tom Platts, he talked about you got to come into the gym and decide you're not going to leave the gym a loser. And I think everybody who's worked out knows the feeling of coming in here and, you know, going kind of hard, but you know you still had some in the tank. And whenever you leave, it's like, that's a chink in your mental armor, you know? It's like, I don't do everything that I can when given the opportunity, and I left. It's like, it's just, it makes a difference in your psychology, you know? Of who you are and how you view yourself in the world. And on these one set to failure, on one set to failure, like you leave yourself no choice but to really go past your body's last max. Because if you don't, then you're not going to stimulate growth. And that's what you're after. So it just feels good knowing that you come in here doing everything you fucking can. And whenever you leave, dude, you carry that shit into your fucking day. It makes a difference how you walk, talk, and interact with people. Because you know you're the motherfucker that does the hard shit. And that's where you get into building real self-esteem and real self-confidence. If you think about confidence, like if you have a stool, a 4-legged stool, and it fucking breaks on you every fucking time you go to sit on it, would you trust it? Well, think about self-confidence. Confidant, that's somebody you trust. Well, if it's self-trust. So if you're always backing out of the things that you're saying you're going to do, then why the fuck would you trust yourself? It doesn't even make sense. So it's a big deal whenever you're talking about your psychology of winning, and psychology when you're interacting with the fucking world and wanting to have real, true self-esteem, dude. It's a fucking big deal, man. Because the one thing you can't fool is your subconscious mind. It's with you all the time. And actually it says that there's this old Bible, well, it's this old ancient book I read from time to time, and it basically says that we will be held accountable for every single word that we have ever spoke. Well, I believe that's talking about our subconscious mind. Everything that you've ever said is going to be in there, and it's going to come bubbling to the fucking surface whenever you need it. And if you talk shit on yourself, you had negative self-talk, that's going to boil up to the surface. But if you had positive self-talk, then that's what's going to boil up to the surface. If you have all those positive reinforcing memories where you conquered versus all of those negative reinforcing memories that you fucking shrunk out of shit, that's what's going to come bubbling to the fucking surface, baby. We get some fucking weight on these calves here.
It makes us pull back. It makes us get more conservative. It makes us not say what we want. And I can promise you, if you can't say what you want, you'll never achieve what you want. All right? It'll never happen. So you got to understand that it is okay to believe in yourself. It is okay to say, I'm going to do this. It is okay to celebrate your successes. Winning in life, in any area, is a great thing. And when people start to see you win and they start trying to pull you back, that's a good indication of people that you should probably work separate from, because those are the people who are going to draw energy off of you that could otherwise be moving you forward. Don't let these people who haven't achieved anything, who have no goals, who are happy floating through life. And by the way, if that's them, that's cool. You don't have to want what they want, and they don't have to want what you want. But if you want to win and you want to be successful, you cannot let other people talk you out of believing in yourself under the guise of quote unquote being humble. All right? And I see a lot of you guys do this. You think humility is a great core value or place to be, and it is. It is. And here's why. Why is humility important? Because when you know you ain't shit, you keep working. When you know that you don't know shit, you keep learning. When you know you're not that good, you keep working to get good. So it's important to stay humble for the reason of growth. But that can be counterproductive if you're hearing it from all these different people that you're supposed to love and trust, and they're all telling you to get back in line and shut the fuck up. You people who listen to that stuff will never win. You will humble yourself to death. Okay? So those are my 2 points I want you guys to think about this week.
Just pretty exhausted with that first warm-up set, and then go right into a heavy set.
Looking at it as something you need to run from, and start looking at it as what can I learn? And 2, stop letting your surroundings and the culture and the people you surround yourself with, and you yourself humble yourself to death. You, I'm talking to you listening, are a badass motherfucker. All of you. You just haven't had the courage to step out and be that thing. And when you get out there and you start becoming that, you're going to have resistance. It's going to happen. But like I said, those are the people that you can then regulate by noticing that they're not putting energy into you and pushing you forward, instead they're pulling you back. And once you eliminate those anchors from your life, guys, it gets a lot easier to win. Right? So those are the 2 messages for you this week. I want you to work on those things this week. I want you to think about those things. And notice when you do these things, I do this because I want you guys to win. I do this because I want to help you guys. And I do this because I fucking care. And there's not enough good teachers out there really teaching people what it takes to win anymore. Because it's not cool in culture. Alright? Well, I can tell you this. It's always going to be cool to me. This is about winning. And this is not about winning a year. This is about winning moment by moment. This is about winning every day. This is about winning a few days in a row, 5, 6, 7 days in a row, and then winning the week. And then it's about winning a few weeks in a row and winning your month. And then it's about winning a few months in a row and you'll win the year. Aren't you fucking sick of not hitting your fucking goals? Aren't you sick of being the same that you are every fucking year? If you look for a reason, you will always win. If you look for an excuse, you will always have one. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you need to fucking do it. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you need to fucking do it. Because a lot of people say they want this shit, but they don't really want it because their actions don't back it up. Their actions aren't showing what it takes to get the result. Their actions aren't showing a commitment to being a person of excellence. It's showing a commitment to being the same fucking thing they've been their whole life. Things are not always going to be ideal. Things are not always going to be perfect. Things are not always going to be convenient. There's going to be things that you can do or find or say or listen to that will help you justify you not sticking to your plan. But successful people know this and they stick to the plan regardless. They understand that things are going to get tough. They understand that things are going to be hard. They understand that things are going to be inconvenient. They understand there's going to be weddings and holidays and vacations. And every turn for years and years and years. You told yourself this was the time. This was what I was going to do. I'm going to do it this time, and I'm serious. I'm serious this time. Seriously. You told yourself that over and over and over again. What happens when you don't follow through? What happens when you don't keep those promises? You lose trust in yourself. And when you lose trust in yourself, you lose belief in yourself. When you lose belief in yourself, you feel powerless. You start thinking you don't have confidence. You don't have the intestinal fortitude to a diet or a fitness program or a business plan. And because you believe in yourself so many times that all that confidence and all that trust that you should have in yourself, which by the way is the most important thing that you need to have, is gone. And it has to be rebuilt. It has to be rebuilt by keeping promises to yourself. And I get, so many emails saying that. See them all.
All right, guys. Really appreciate you hanging out with me. This was day 4475 hard, back and calves. Appreciate you guys who are following along with me, engaging in the comments. You guys like the way that I take you through the workouts and my thought progression on breaking them down and all that stuff. Just ask that you would like and subscribe. If you guys don't like it, all good, dude. We'll part as friends. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next video.